Hey guys, the reason I haven't shown this thing in a while is because it's been at the shop for about a month or so. I'll throw in a clip right here of like an intro of it blowing a bunch of white smoke. It needed injectors, and I put a fuel pressure regulator in it, and my mechanic readjusted the valves for me, and he did a bunch of good shit. But so right away we're gonna start on a project again. These windows are tinted. She doesn't really like the tint. I'm like almost blind, so you know I can't really see out of it, so we're gonna go ahead and detint it. And at the moment, a long time ago, her uncle had to break into the truck and broke the little tab, so I went and glued that on, and it actually worked. But right now I'm gonna go to the junkyard and pick up a new window. When I called earlier, they told me that the windows they sell there, they make sure that they're frameless or something. I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna take apart this door and make sure I have the frame to it. So what it looks like so far is just a normal pop thing from a door panel and 2 bolts. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go and use one of these little panel popper tools. Again, I'd recommend getting one that's plastic. I haven't picked up a set of plastic ones yet, so all I have is metal. I'm just gonna go around. Maybe I'll try to do it with one hand. And pop this out. Yeah, I think I'm going to cause a little too much damage trying to do this with one hand, but I'll give it one more shot. There we go. So as you can see, it's 2 clips, and I'm pretty sure it's like a little, what do you want to call it? Yeah, like little feet at the bottom. So that just slides and pops in. And that stayed to it. I watched a video the other day where that liked to stick to that, but we're good for that. So now we're gonna hit these up. I believe they're 10 millimeters. I may be wrong. I was wrong. Those are not 10 millimeters. It seems like they're a lot smaller than it, so it could be an 8 mil. I'll be back when I find the right socket. Alright, so this ended up being a 7 millimeter. I find that kind of weird, so I'll bring you back after I pop these both out. Alright, and to pop this door panel off, go ahead and disconnect this little piece from your original window. What you're going to have to do is, where that goes into the joint, you can use a pair of the, what are they called? They're like little calipers, but you can also just, trying to get it to focus, it's kind of sunny, so I'm not sure if you can see this right now. But if you just give a little back and forth pressure, it'll pop. It'll just pop out. And if you want to be careful, you know, use a screwdriver or something. But most of the stuff has to be replaced. So I'm pretty sure what I have to do is just go around and give even pressure all the way around, and this will start to pop out. Again, I have to do this with one hand, so it might be a little bit of a trick. So let me get 1 or 2 started and I'll bring you back. Alright, yep, that's all you have to do. I literally just gave a little bit of light pressure all the way around, and it started to pop off. Be fairly gentle, and don't do what I just did. But the whole door panel's off. That's looking nasty. So maybe that's the metal frame they're talking about, but I'm 100% sure that's attached to the window. So I'm gonna go around with, those probably look like 7 millimeter bolts too. I don't know why it's all 10 millimeter, but I'm gonna go pop that out and then see where I get from there about a frame. Alright, so after I got those, I believe it was 3 or 4 bolts out. It was 3. I thought the window was gonna fall out, which is kind of dumb because I'm sure there's some sort of adhesive. So I think what I need to do is figure out a way to get some sort of like a fishing line, like kind of how you do emblems, through into the other side, and then work your way back and forth all the way up and around the window. So after I figure out how to do that, I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, so what I've been doing so far is I've been going around with a box cutter, and I've gotten the top kind of undone. You can't really, I don't know if you can see. I've gotten the top undone. I'm starting to get these sides undone. It's just going to be a little bit of a process. Like I said, my junkyard said I need to keep a frame, and I'm assuming that's what this is, but it doesn't make any sense because it's attached to it. So maybe when I get it off I can see screws or something. I have no idea, but I'm being careful. I'm sure at this point, if you had the frame and everything, you could just stick your hand over here and just force it all the way off and clean up just some glue afterwards. But I'm gonna keep working on this, and I'll bring you back once it's off. Alright guys, so it's been about 20-30 minutes or so. I've gotten to this point. Basically what I've been doing is I had a long skinny razor blade and I broke it, so now I have to use a box cutter. I highly recommend the long skinny razor blade because that got me the furthest. I just went up and around, and as you can see, I'll back up a little bit so you can see, and was cutting the adhesive while prying it with a screwdriver. And I've gotten to about this point right here on the bottom. I'm very close to right here, and then along this it's going to be kind of difficult. I don't know if you can see there is a lip, so I can't just go straight into it like on here. So I'll probably have to go pick up one of those long skinny razor blades, and then this window will pop out. And I also got the replacement one from the junkyard. It's sitting right there, and we'll get this thing thrown together. Alright, so I pretty much got the window all the way out except for around this lip. So what I've been doing is, I guess it'll be easier to show you once I get it off, but right there, it's basically like little rubber pieces that go through that and then spread out. So since I'm not using this window anymore, I'm just cutting the rubber pieces, and after that this window should pop right out, and I can show you a little bit more once the window is out. Alright, so window's out. That little pinch thing I was telling you is right here. There's two little rubber things I can show you on the new window that get pushed in here, and then they have like little tabs that go this way and that way so the window can't get pulled out. I'm really surprised it actually works like that. It doesn't seem very sturdy, but I mean, GM used it, I'm pretty sure, from 99 to 07 Classic, so I mean, I guess it works. So this was the frame they were telling me about that I have to keep. I'm really glad it went well because this thing feels really flimsy, and I was scared I was going to snap it. I feel like it's too time consuming from the junkyard to take the frame completely out, so they probably just did what I did and pulled it like that, and then as you can see the light shining through, and then they go cut the slits right there. So I'm gonna get the new window popped in, and then I'm gonna go to the store and get some black silicone. I'll probably try to clean up the existing black silicone that's right there, and yeah. Alright, so I just got most of there we go, the big stuff scraped off. It's still there, but that's almost flush. I don't know, I mean, I'll go over the parts that are sticking up, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to go ahead real soon and get the window popped back in, and then I'm going to go head out and get the adhesive. I feel like having the window in first and then going in and caulking all the way around it might be easier, because I don't know if you actually can put it in once it's already caulked. You might be able to, I'm not sure, I haven't done this before, but so far so good. It's been fairly easy, just a little time consuming. So let's try to get this window popped in and I'll bring you back. Alright, so the new window's in those little slots. When I tried to get it in dry, it didn't work, so I went and took some of my window cleaner and soaked it really good and then just pounded it in, and it seemed a little sketchy, but I mean, it worked. So now I'm gonna go and get my my black caulking. I don't know if I'm going to use RTV silicone or you know, 3M like weather stripping tape. I'm gonna, you know, something like that. But you know, it works now, so I'm happy. Just gotta caulk it in and then reassemble it. Alright, so I just went ahead and picked up this black super weather stripping gasket adhesive. So hopefully it'll work out. This is definitely the hardest part of the job so far. This stuff is super messy and I was by myself. So right now I got some clamps holding in the new window. I have the bolts back in. There's 3 bolts right there. I don't remember if I showed the bottom one, but you know, filling in all the gaps really good. Really hoping I did it right, because it's gonna be a real pain to get out once this is done. So I don't know how long I'm gonna let that sit in there for, probably quite a while, and give it a really good seal. Alright guys, so we had a little bit of change of plans. The window, those like little rubber pieces weren't fully seating in it, so I just ended up taking off the entire frame. I feel like it's going to be easier for me to attach the rubber pieces and get an actual really good seal all the way around better, and then I can just set the frame in place and then bolt it down so all the glue will have a an even, I guess you could say, spread. So the window's right there, the frame's on the bench. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting these together and hopefully it'll work now. Alright, so it literally just popped in on the frame when I took it out and then pressed the frame down. I used a little bit of lotion to kind of like lube up the rubber. Way easier. Before, I could see these pieces, but I guess the little hooks on the end weren't going all the way through, because I've had this thing buttoned up about 2 to 3 times and then this pops out. So now I know for a fact, I mean, I heard the pops, I can see the little prongs poking out, so we should be good. I'm gonna lay a bead of caulk all the way around my window and all the way around my door frame, and then mate them together and bolt it up, and hopefully we shouldn't have any issues. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up a little bit just from the excess that's been on it, and then I'll go ahead and finally hopefully get the window installed. Alright, so you can see I got the window all caulked and cleaned up, and the actual door itself cleaned up and caulked, and then I let the caulking set up for about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit less, before I mated the two. Lightly screwed it in, adding a little bit of pressure every, you know, minute or so, you know, screwing it a little bit more in. And then I went and kind of just like put my body weight against the door to seat it for probably about 10 minutes or so. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get these letters off right here. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your I got 91% rubbing alcohol. You can pick this up at Walmart or one of your local stores for about $1, $2. You're going to take this on a paper towel, not microfiber, because you want it a little bit more coarse, and go ahead and get those numbers off. Alright guys, I think this may have been a fresh window at the junkyard, because that lettering came off in one swipe with a little bit of that alcohol. You can see the yellow on there. But yours most likely won't if it has the lettering. So what you're going to do is you're going to go with the alcohol, rub it down once, go back with some Dawn dish soap and some water, and just clean the window with that, and just keep repeating those steps until it all comes off. Alright guys, so that pretty much does it. I'm going to let this sit up for about 5 to 6 hours before I open the door and mess with it, and, you know, getting the door panel and all the other stuff put back on. So, you know, hopefully this helped you. There hasn't been a whole lot of videos online on how to do this, so I hope it helped you, and thanks for watching.